Hi everyone, it's Tammy with Gehr. Today I'm going to show you a really simple technique. It's been around for a little while, but if you're new to the industry, it's really simple and I'm going to show you how to do it right now. So this technique is called the paper technique. It's a really fun way to get a really clean look on your piece, clean design. And all of these pieces were done with the paper technique. It's really simple, easy, and fun to do. And this one was done using the paper technique and Snowstorm. So you can use it for a lot of different projects. Okay, so let's get started. It's really simple, so I'm just going to jump right in. I have my paper pieces and some pottery to show you. This first piece I'm going to show you, I'm just going to put it on the plain bisque. This is what you don't want to do, because if you try to put it on plain bisque, once it dries it will just fall off because there's nothing to help the paper stick. So when you do the paper technique, you just dip your paper in to some water and get it wet, and then you would just stick it on wherever you're going to put it, and you can take a sponge and just dab off the excess water. But what will happen here is, as you can see, it's not sticking because it's just bisque. So you really need to have a base coat on your pottery in order for the paper to stick. So I've already base coated my piece, and I just used some smiley face. And the first thing I'm going to do is take my paper and I'm going to dip it in the water, in and out, just rather quickly, and I'm just going to get it on my piece where I want it, put it down, and I'm going to wet my sponge a little bit and just smooth it out a bit. You can pick it up and fix it if you need to. So you can see it's sticking good here. And then you just want to let that dry a bit. So it's important that this is dry to the touch before you start your next step, because when you put the next color on, you don't want the base coat color to pull up. So this is dry to the touch, as you can see. So I'm going to put my next color on. I'm using Black Lab, but you could use any color. And I'm just going to coat right over the star, and I'm going to do 2 coats of this. And I'm just being gentle as I put it on. I'm just floating the color on. You don't want to overbrush or your paper will come off. That's 1 coat. Just dry it. So now I'm adding my second coat. You don't have to worry about covering all of the paper because we're going to be peeling that off. So for this last part, you're just going to need a pin to pull off the paper. And you want to make sure that it's mostly dry. You don't want to wait till it's completely dry, like the next day or anything, or some of the paint will flake off a bit. So you just want to make sure it's mostly dry, and you can just stick your pin off in there and peel up the edge enough for you to grab it and peel it off. And there you have your star. Now you can see there's a tiny, tiny bit that leaked right there. That's okay. When that dries, you're just going to take your little scraping tool and you can clean that right up. So you can see how nicely that worked. So now I'm going to show you another way to do this if you have a piece of paper with delicate edges like this. So if you have a piece like this and it has some like really delicate edges, it's hard to dip it in and put it on without the paper curling up on you. So what you would do is you would just take a brush and wet the brush, and then you wet the plate. Just put a little bit of water down and then put the piece on, and it will stick. And then take your sponge and wet it and just gently make sure it's all stuck to the plate. So we're going to let this dry, and then we're going to paint over it, just like we did the other one. Okay, so now that this is dry to the touch, I can put my coats of paint on. Do the first coat. Again, you just want to be gentle when you put your paint on. so that you don't pull up the piece when you're painting it. You want the paper to stay still. So you don't want to be too harsh when you're painting. Just be gentle. So that's one coat. Okay, so I'm putting on my second coat. Okay, so I have 2 coats on here, and so I'm going to take my pin. It's dry enough to pull off the paper template. So I'm just going to lift it enough so that I can grab it with my finger, and it should just peel off really nicely. Look how beautiful that is. So again, if you have a couple little spots that leak, it's okay. Just let it dry, and it'll be really easy for you to just scrape really gently to clean that up a bit if you need to. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.